Interest rate cuts won't work. Let's have a look. Good evening, everyone. Florian Heise here, back with my stein of evening coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article from ABC News discussing the interest rate cuts. If you've been living under a rock, you may not be aware that the cash rate was cut yesterday to 0.5%, with the big four banks passing it all on. I suspect there was a little bit of political pressure for them to do that. Now, that's definitely going to have an impact, I'd say, on consumer confidence. And I mentioned in my video that as a mortgage holder, I'm not going to run out and spend any more. If anything, I'll pay more off our mortgage. Or what I like to do is I like to reduce my weekly payment to the minimum it does and then pay big additional chunks to psychologically just feel good, I guess. In the end, just so long as you're paying ahead, that's the goal. But, you know, if you're a mortgage holder, are you going to rush out and make extra spending? Are you going to borrow more money than you would otherwise? Or are you just going to take advantage of the lower interest rate while you can? And this couple interviewed here, the interest rate cut won't make us spend more, says mortgage holders. Well, is it aimed at mortgage holders? Is it aimed at people that are already, burdened with mortgage debt? Or are they trying to encourage more people to enter the market? And this guy's got a brilliant hairstyle, tick mate, good work. No, I'm not biased at all. The Reserve Bank yesterday cut the cash interest rate to record lows of 0.5%. Brad Stevens and his fiancée, Kate Holton, are members of the 1/3 of Australians with a mortgage who win from the reduction. But the Hobart couple say the cut will not see them spending more. We would be much more inclined to probably just tip that back into the mortgage and just bring our principal down a bit more, Mr. Stevens said. There you go. In the past, when cuts happened, we've done that as well. So we've never really sort of taken that extra cash and used it for anything else because it doesn't make that much difference day to day. Yeah, I can appreciate that. I mean, what, on a 400k mortgage, what is it? A couple of bucks a week? I guess it may add up over a month, but I think they were saying $700 a year. I mean, that's still decent coin, $700. You could put that into, maybe the stock market. You could buy some good silver. You could buy a quarter or half a beast. Probably a quarter. No, maybe half a beast to store. Or which is the latest trend now in Australia, you could stock up on toilet paper supplies. And I don't know if this came on Instagram or Facebook. This is the average Australian right now. Please don't tell people how I live. Nothing in your house, just piles of toilet paper, which I find hilarious because we're monthly shoppers. Rachel does a shop every month. We look like this all the time because we're a big family. We look like preppers all the time because we only shop once a month. So there you go. We did it before it was cool, everyone. Before it was cool. In the past, I've already read that. But a little bit extra off the mortgage is a good thing. Mr. Stevens is a real estate agent and does think lower interest rates could push up demand further for housing. It is part of the reason why they recently bought an investment property. The fact that the cost of money was just so incredibly low, even for an investment loan, meant that the rental repayments could more than cover the mortgage. It was a big part of the decision, he said. If rates were much higher, then it wouldn't have made much sense. Well, there you go. I mean, this is interesting to hear. He isn't negative gearing his property. He's positive gearing it. So, I mean, real estate, that's a tough game. It's a tough game. But I guess if the market declines and people have to force sell, could that be good for the estate market as well, being an agent? And Hobart. We keep hearing about how Hobart is going gangbusters. Housing affordability there is off the scale. When I think of Hobart and Lonnie, I remember when I went there on a uni trip. It was beautiful. Beautiful. A bit cold, but beautiful. So I wouldn't have cut. The former Reserve Bank member, Bob Gregory, believes the interest rate should have been left unchanged. And a few people said that in the comments too, going, perhaps they should have left it for a month. That's what I thought they would have done as well. I thought they wouldn't have been that rash, because my concern is consumer confidence, guys. And I don't know if it's going to make that much difference to people's spending habits. I think maybe it will spur demand, and then will drive up the cost of housing again. What do you think, guys? Let me know your opinions in the comments. If you have a mortgage, are you going to increase your spending? Are you going to go nuts? If you're looking for a house, will this make it more affordable for you? I mean, the thing is, it's such a small amount over a mortgage and on a weekly, I guess. But I mean, if you're coming down to $15 a week or $20, $50 a week, you're cutting a bloody fine, aren't you? Maybe that's all it takes. The Reserve Bank says it had cut interest rates to support an economy which was being hit by the global virus outbreak. But even before the virus, the economy was growing below trend and with rising unemployment. Former Reserve Bank board member Bob Gregory says if he was still there, he would have tried to stop the cut. I wouldn't have cut, he told 730. It's not going to do anything for the universities, for the restaurants, for agents, supply chains that have been blocked from China, and so forth. The interest rate is not really the right sort of instrument to sort this problem. But that's the issue. In some regards, it's the only thing the Reserve Bank knows what to do. Well, sorry, no, that's a lie. Oh wait, that's building approvals, that's gone down, that's not what I wanted to show. They know how to make inaccurate predictions of wage for income growth and cut interest rates. During the GFC, the Australian government acted to shore up confidence and economic support with a quick stimulus program, including checks in the mail. This past week's manufacturing data from China was much worse than during the height of the GFC. So many are calling for a federal government-led response. The Reserve Bank has been appealing to the government to loosen its purse strings and stimulate the economy. Or maybe that's why they cut the rates, to try and force the government to do it. The only problem is if the government... Here's the thing. I think government stimulus is coming one way or another. I think, they're going to chuck the surplus up the window and they're going to start stimulating. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. I wonder, will we see nuclear and water in this stimulus? Because I would love to see that. Shoring up Australia's water reserves, addressing the carbon, carbon emissions by Australia by investing in cutting edge nuclear power. Because I'll just bring up another website here, guys. We can see the Australian energy market. Look at all these wind farms at 3%, 1%, 15%, 7%. There's one at 28. That's going well. 1%. Look at all those. That capital infrastructure investment that's making no money. What a waste. What a waste. But I'm sure the Victorians feel good about the potential for significant blackouts. So that's what I would like to see. I would like to see some innovation in this infrastructure spending, not just more, roads. But see, though, projects like that, the problem is they're long-term projects to get a nuclear facility in this nation. Maybe their stimulus could be the study to look at getting it to happen, not actually building it, because it would take too long. They want boots on the ground. That's the problem. Maybe they should change the legislation first to allow it to happen. In the past, this past weekend's manufacturing data from China was much worse than during the height of the GFC. I've already read that. The Reserve Bank has been appealing for the government to loosen its purse strings, as I've said. The bank's governor has been sort of saying this for years, Mr. Gregory said. He's been sort of saying monetary policy is not going to be very effective. We should be doing more on the fiscal policy side. Prime Minister Scott Morrison told 730 the government would announce an economic plan for the virus before the May budget. Mr. Stevens and Ms. Holton worry the impact of the virus is already starting to bite in Tasmania. Obviously, the university is a big part of our economy here in Tasmania, with a big contingent of international students And I know that they're certainly having an effect on them, Mr. Stevens said. Not so worried about the government having a surplus. Mortgage holder Stephen Williams moved house in Adelaide in order to lower his debt load. I'd say things are pretty tough. The cost of living is rising all the time, and I feel that. Well, a viewer left a comment on another video looking at just the cost of living comparing Australia to other countries. So let's have a look at that. We can see here Germany 26th, Italy 27th in the world, France 20th, Austria 21, Canada, fellow member of the Commonwealth 22nd. Let's keep going up. Japan 17th, UK 16th, the US 15th. Where's Australia? 10th in the world with the highest cost of living on the cost of living index. Guys, 10th in the world. What beats us? Israel, Virgin Islands, Luxembourg, Denmark, Bahamas, Norway, Iceland, Switzerland, and Bermuda. We're number 10 in the world. Look at our purchasing power index here. We'll sort by that. Purchasing power index. And where is Australia? Where are we? We're here. 78.3. And what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 18th. 18th from the highest. There you go. There you go. Monthly income. Where are we? We're here. So what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13, 14 in the world. So we're not doing too well with regards to the cost of living index, are we? And I'll have a link to this, guys, so you can have a look at the world data. Keep that in mind. When people are complaining about the cost of living, it does seem to be going up, doesn't it? Mr. Williams said he's more interested in the economy performing well than the government achieving a surplus. Well, the government can still achieve a surplus. They could even stimulate and still get a surplus. The thing is, they would have to cut some of the dead wood. I don't think they'd want to do that. Wouldn't be brave enough. What I'm most concerned about is whether we have money left over in the week to finish off the renovations on my house. Going down and getting some weekly shopping, things like that, and be able to have a night out with the boys, he said. There's more that I'm thinking about rather than having a surplus or not. But the problem is, guys, we will pay. Citizens will pay for the government's debt, one way or another. We will always pay. This is the issue where people think that the government's problem isn't their problem, but it is. They always pass it on to us, one way or another. Even if they just generate more money, it decreases the purchasing power of our earnings, our savings. But I think people don't appreciate that. And he sees some benefit in further government spending. In South Australia, we've been very lucky. The government has gone on a very large infrastructure spin, which has kept lots of people in work. Yes, and how much of that infrastructure... Well, you've also got the most expensive... You're complaining about cost of living, and South Australia's got the most expensive power in the world, I understand. Very close to it. I'm lucky enough to have a fantastic job with a local council in civil construction. So at the moment, that's getting me by beautifully. Well, you're a civil servant, so you're removed from the real economy. But I know a lot of people are unemployed or haven't quite got the job they want, and they're definitely suffering. Or underemployed. Well, yes, I mean, that's the biggest concern for the economy, guys, the underemployment rate. So what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Do you think the rate cuts will make any difference? You know, or can you see more and more people just tightening their belt? What are your plans? How will you deal with the extra few dollars you get? Are you pumping it just off the mortgage? You're not even bothering to change your repayments, just leaving it alone? Let us know your opinions in the comments below, and what would you do? What would you do to stimulate the economy? What do you think the government should do? Should they go on a crazy spending spree? Should they go on a Steve Keen debt jubilee process, where sure, everyone gets a check in the mail, but you have to spend it on debt? Or should they do something else? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. If you're a fan of the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to help us a little bit extra, there are a few ways you can. You can join on Patreon and support the channel with a monthly donation. You can do the same by joining the channel here on YouTube. You can also use our affiliate links for Amazon and eBay for your consumer purchases, or Independent Reserve and Kucoin for your crypto trading. We have pocket squares available from the HeiseSays website, made right here in our very own sweatshop. And finally, PayPal if you want to contribute that way. Thanks everyone for your support. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.